Hey guys, Dan the Dog Man. Today we're doing a behavioral evaluation on a dog named Bailey. She's a super mutt, mix of breeds, but we're gonna go ahead and label her a Great Pyrenees Retriever mix. So Bailey's 3 years old, weighs about 75 pounds, spayed female. Her owners are reaching out for her reactivity and aggression. Sounds like she has some prey drive, a little bit of fear issues. Says here that she bit a dog. So the aggression seems to be geared not towards people, only dogs. And seems like she resource guards food, toys, furniture, affection. Okay. So their goals are that she'll be able to play with and be okay with other dogs. They want to get another dog, and they don't want her fence fighting on walks as well. Okay. So let's go on in and see what we can do. Hey, is it alright if we come in?
Yeah,
or?
of course.
Okay. Alrighty. What was her name again? Bailey, right?
Bailey, yes.
Bailey. Okay. And your name again, sorry? Eric, cool. All right. So yeah, before we get started, I'd just like to ask questions, try to get an understanding of how we got here, the history, and then we'll go right into the evaluation. We brought some dogs with us, so we'll definitely be able to test the thresholds and see what's up.
Yeah.
So how old is she?
She's 3, right? 3.
And then how old was she when you got her?
Like a couple weeks.
Yeah, she was pretty young when we got her.
Couple
6
weeks?
months. Oh, she's too little, sorry.
Oh,
Eric, hold her so I can get a napkin.
I got
Other
her.
than that,
I got her now. We'll take this off.
Like,
Here you go.
she was pretty young. We got her in Oklahoma from just random people on the side of the road.
Okay, so it wasn't a breeder or anything
No,
like that?
they didn't know she was pregnant, and they had adopted, right? They adopted a couple of dogs from the shelter, and one was pregnant, and then they had a bunch of puppies. So we got her for like $25 outside of a gym. So it wasn't anything like super legit.
And so just because the timeline is important, so you say weeks, like, was it the typical 8-week time frame where they rehome them, or was she younger than that?
I think she was younger.
Younger than 8 weeks?
What do you think? I don't know. You probably remember better.
Did y'all have to like bottle feed her or anything?
No.
Okay.
She ate dry food.
Okay.
So she probably.
I don't think they gave us age, but she was probably like this big.
Yeah, she was really small.
Okay.
It just looked like a fuzzball.
Okay. And so she's a mix of things.
Yes, and I have all of that.
Yeah, you put it on the forum too, I saw. The thing with, like, that's your other dog?
Yeah.
What's your other dog?
Austin. He's a black lab.
Okay. The thing with the whole, like, embark and stuff like that, I don't know how accurate it is, right? Mm-hmm. You just want to look at the dog that's in front of you and try to understand. So that submissive peeing that she did, is that a normal thing for her? Okay. And is it typically around when people come over, or there's interactions? Yeah.
Every time.
So that's submissive peeing. Okay. And so that's just, it's a pressure thing, right? So, like, if I just stand where you are, but if I come close, do you feel my pressure? So it's the same thing she's feeling. And because we're vertical, when you come over her like that, she just kind of goes in and pees, right?
Yeah.
So you got her when she was super young. You've had her all her life. She's about, you said 3 years now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So dogs reach social and sexual maturity at about 2.5, 3 years old. Is she spayed?
Yeah.
When did you get her spayed?
About a year. Yeah.
Okay. And then are there any health issues, any surgeries, injuries, allergies, medications, anything I should be aware of?
No.
She's not. No, she is like, she bites her feet a lot, but I don't think that's like a big issue.
Yeah. Is she on any flea, tick, heartworm prevention?
Yeah, she's on the 4.
Okay. Is it the Bravecto or?
I think so. It's like every single, my mom gives it to our other dog, so she just gave it to her.
Okay. And then what kind of food do you feed?
So we feed food from, we make it because she's a little chunky for a minute there. She doesn't really love to exercise, so we give her like ground turkey, blueberries.
The lean stuff.
Yeah.
Do you cook it or is it raw?
We cook it, yes. And then we have like a vitamin, like supplement thing we put over it.
And what's her feeding schedule?
She'll wake you up at 5 a.m. for you to feed her.
But it's consistent. It's like structured meals once in the
Yes.
morning, once in the evening. Okay. Trying to think of anything else.
She is weird about food.
That's it.
That's her biggest thing. I was telling you on the phone, I think one of the biggest reasons that her and my roommate's dog got into the fight was because my roommate's dog usually isn't allowed in my room. My door's closed. It was cracked because I had a window open. And she got in. So they never had a fight before that. She was very tolerant. Honestly, a little too tolerant of a crazy puppy. And
They
then...
always growl though. Like,
Yeah,
when
if-
they get too close, you growl and like, "Arr!" but never like.
Never...
But only towards other dogs or to humans as well?
Only
Never,
dogs,
never
never
human.
human.
No.
Yeah, because I see like you're eating a sandwich and she's fine.
We could take anything from her, like whether it's like a
Yeah, you
bone
could. I
or a
could put
piece
my
of
head in
steak.
her mouth and she wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
It's another dog.
another dog. Yeah.
Okay. So like, how well do you guys think you know how to read her body language? So if you were to look at her now, what would you say her body language is saying?
I think she doesn't know what's
I
going
can
on.
tell you when she's scared.
So,
I don't think she's scared because her tail's usually down under.
well, the tail is down, right? Because
Like under.
right, that's super scared, right? But like you see how the ears are pinned back,
Yeah.
right? So the stress yawn. So she's a little stressed and anxious right now, probably because she's on a leash with somebody she doesn't know.
Okay.
Dogs barking in the background. We'll see here in a second, but just based off what I'm seeing and what you're telling me, it sounds to me like it's insecurity. So it's a fear-based aggression, but it doesn't mean she's afraid or scared. It means she gets insecure, fight or flight, kind of starts, and then dogs are there's two types of aggression. Dogs are either aggressive as a mindset, I am aggressive, or they use aggression as a tool, I use aggression because it works.
Yeah.
And so it sounds to me like she's using aggression because it works,
Yeah.
right?
She's
Because
always been smaller. Or
She's never been
smaller.
like this until like the past like couple 6 months.
to what changed in the last 6 months?
Probably just her age, I guess.
I mean, we
Well,
always move.
but-
Puppy.
Well,
Yeah.
that's new.
But
Never
she's been
a
around
puppy.
other dogs. Like when she was super young, she would just love to play. Now that she's gotten old, she's like way less playful. She's more like just wants to chill.
So that's maturity,
Yeah.
right? And so with puppies can get a puppy pass, right? So like the best example I can do is like if you guys are out in the town and a 10-year-old boy walks up to you and tries to hit on her, you'd probably be like, all right, little man, go sit down.
Yeah.
But if a grown dude your age does it, you're gonna be like, what was that, bud? Right? And so it's the same thing with dogs. With puppies, they're just kind of like, all right, whatever, you're annoying me, until they correct them. But with older dogs that are the same age, they go, hey, knock that off.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else that we should be aware of before we kind of go outside and test some dog stuff?
It's really only food and girl dogs that she's ever been weird towards. Like we had an older dog that recently passed away who was also a lab. He was a yellow lab, and they were always fine. Or neighbors' dogs. It's so weird because she used to be able to play. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, most of the people we do know have male dogs, and I think up until the puppy, our roommate got a puppy, was the first. I mean, other than she had like a small thing with my friend's dog, the one I was telling you about. That wasn't horrible or anything, but that was, I think, the first
Just like
female
jaws
dog.
flying, kind
Yeah.
of like that.
So is because I have two boy dogs. I have a puppy, well, two puppy boys, and then a 2-year-old female.
Yeah.
The female is dog at the very minimum reactive, a little bit aggressive, so she'll definitely respond. Do you think that if we go outside and like kind of reenact a walk, she would react to that, or she would just
If we
ignore
were
it?
walking, it depends. She's
They'd
very.
probably sniff. I don't think she'd like get really aggressive right
Okay,
away.
so then your main concern is just trying to figure out this resource guarding issue, the food aggression.
I think like if we pretended to feed her and then we let your dog go over and sniff the food, she'd get pissed.
Okay.
Well, also she does kind of occasionally react to a random dog.
If the
when
other-
we're
like,
walking
it-
by.
Sometimes like when a dog, like she'll be cool and then some little dog will just start yapping at her and then she'll be like, "Arr."
Where do you usually feed her?
I've been trying to feed her kind of different places so she doesn't get like one spot is where I eat. If that makes sense. So we've kind of, for the past 2 weeks after this whole thing, or 3 weeks, we've been like in there in the other room by the door back there, just so she doesn't have one specific. He's very respectful. Like he knows when we're eating on different sides. So my mom will usually feed them, her right there and him right here.
Okay. Is there an open room? Is this right here? Is this an open room we can kind of utilize? Just like where we have more space?
That would probably be, yeah, right here, you mean?
Okay, yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. So if you can get a bowl of food,
Okay.
just to kind of, you know, get her stimulated, can you grab Otso?
Yeah.
I'll just get the kids older.
All right. Has she eaten breakfast yet?
Yeah, but
Okay. She's hungry.
still love it. Should we stand away?
Yeah, if you can just stand like kind of right there,
Okay.
that'd be perfect. I'm gonna try to utilize this space here.
Gave him his combo. He's still going.
Probably hears us, wants to know what we're up to. That's. Don't let him interact. Is that drool? Yeah. Crazy. Did you see that? The second the food came in, she went right to look at him. Let him get close, don't let him eat. At. There it is. Yeah. Take a step that way. So I'm waiting for her to make a decision. I either want her to react or to go neutral and give up. Basically say like, all right, I don't want the food either. You hear the growling? So this is her just way of warning him, like, hey, you're getting too close to my food, but she hasn't made the decision to attack.
Okay.
So I'm not going to correct her for thinking about it, because if you correct the growl, then you get no warning next time. And you have to do a better job at reading the dog and understanding what she's thinking. Here, it's very easy to read her, right? Like her stance. And you see, I have a nice loose leash, right? It's not like I'm holding her and restraining her from doing it. Yeah, good boy, Otto. Good boy, buddy. You look homeless, bro. Jesus. Yeah. Bailey. Good. Sit. That's a good girl. Yeah. Good. All right. You put him up.
Is the tail wagging? Like, what is that? I don't.
Whose? His or hers? So the tail is connected to the spine. The spine is connected to the central nervous system. Anytime the nervous system activates through stress, anxiety, fear, aggression, the spine will move the tail.
Oh, okay.
So wagging tail doesn't necessarily mean a happy dog. You have to pay attention to how the tail is wagging in the context of the situation. So for her, she was like,
Yeah.
and so the tail's rigid, right? It's like barely moving. So that's her on guard, on edge,
Okay.
right?
I just noticed I never watched it not sitting in front of it, so.
Yeah, yeah. So now would you say, can I give this back to you?
Yeah.
Would you say that's same, worse, or better than you've seen in the past?
With like a bowl of food?
With the behavior itself, the intensity was about the same, worse, or better, and then the conclusion was that same, worse, or better?
Like in a time where she hasn't bit and just gotten pissed off, yes, that's
The same?
They normally don't like growl that long.
Yeah.
She normally snap sooner.
Right, and she would have if I let her.
Yeah.
I think if he would have started eating the food too, she would have snapped.
Well, right, but that's why I'm not trying to instigate it.
Yeah.
I'm setting up the scenario and I'm seeing how she responds.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm pretty sure if he would have ate the food, she would have gone after him. That's not the point. I want to know if I just set up the situation right before the behavior is supposed to happen, how do you respond?
Yeah.
So this is a silver lining. I can work with this dog, right? Because you saw towards the end, she totally gave up on the food and was like, hey, what do you want?
Yeah.
Right? She sat for me. I gave her affection. And she didn't go back to try to kill him, right?
Yeah.
Or bite him or whatever. So, any questions, comments, concerns there?
No. Is how long she was growling a big factor, or
In what?
like in what you can tell about where it's stemming from, or what?
I'll say she's committed to the behavior,
Okay.
right? Because most dogs, you know, the way it goes is you get the initial big explosion response, which I interrupted right away,
Yeah.
right? Then she kind of settled down a bit, but then she was prolonged just growling and holding pressure. She was very much hoping that the pressure would work to make him back off.
Go away.
Once she realized it didn't, and it wasn't until he moved, I think, it wasn't even towards the food, he like shifted and moved away that she reacted. Then I go, nope, I interrupt that because she needs to meet a stopping force. And so once I did that, she went all submissive, was like, oh, okay, hey, what's up? So this is good because it tells me she's not actually aggressive. right? Now, is she capable of aggression? Yes. We've seen it with the puppy.
Yeah.
Those were pretty bad puncture wounds.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is stemming from a place of like, she's trying to kill a dog. She's just trying to make the dog back away from her food because she feels entitled to the food.
Yeah.
Dogs are possessive in nature. It's very natural for them to resource guard. But it's like, you have your phone, right?
Yes.
Can you set it down right there? Okay, so if I go and I reach for my phone, do you care?
No.
But if I go and I reach for your phone, do you care? Right, because you feel entitled to that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing,
Okay.
right? So how do we fix this? Well, for one, she needs to understand that she's not entitled to anything, right? This typically happens when, and I don't know if this is the case with you, right? But there's too much privilege, too much freedom, not enough rules, structures, boundaries. Even the way you're feeding her, right, is just kind of like you're catering to her, literally, right? You're bringing her the food. You're trying to make her comfortable by putting her in different spaces. I would feed her in the crate.
Okay.
Give her 5 minutes to eat. If she doesn't eat, pick the bowl up, try again next meal,
Okay.
right? Because then you're just limiting the opportunity for the behavior to occur. That's just management, right? If you didn't want to go the training route would be doing more of this, desensitizing her, counter conditioning the response, making her understand you can't do that, right? But the most immediate fix you could do now is just give her more structure when it comes to meal times, especially if there's another dog around.
Yeah.
Does she have these issues with him or no?
I mean, if a piece of food like has fallen in between them and they haven't really like bit each other though, but he's trying.
Just a lot of snarling
like
and
snapping at each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
Until we kind of get in between them.
Yeah.
And break them up somehow. But
And so that's a good thing too, because like if they, especially housemates, right? They would get into a fight before a random dog,
yeah.
just because they're always living together, right? And there's bad blood there, if it got to that point. So okay, I mean that's promising. Any questions about that? Comments, concerns?
I'm glad that we were nervous that she was gonna meet you guys and then be like, I'm doing.
Yeah. Now sometimes that happens, but I mean I still understand. If that happens though, that's even better because that tells me okay, it's contextual,
Yeah.
right? Something that you're doing is the reason this is happening.
Yeah.
And so I think part of it is just it's conflict resolution, right? When you feel conflict, how do you resolve it? And when she feels the conflict of the food because she feels entitled to it, she resolves it through aggression.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go out and go break Kalani. Text me when you're ready, and just kind of go to the next house over and just walk up the street. I'll be in the driveway.
Okay.
She's definitely a social dog. There's nothing wrong with her, even with this behavior. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with her. It just means we need to understand the behavior better and how to communicate effectively, so that in the moment she doesn't hurt another dog.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
You think it's that 40% pit bull in her?
Maybe wasn't she mixed with like Great Pyrenees too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Australian Shepherd.
Yeah, so I mean, like all that stuff plays a factor because it's not dog aggression. She lives with another dog. She didn't care about the other dog until the food was present. This is more of a possessive issue, right? The resource guarding. And this is a lifestyle thing. Could it be genetic? Sure. Genetic resource guarding is a thing. But when it is genetic resource guarding, it doesn't resolve that quickly,
Yeah.
right? Like she would got the feedback, maybe stop momentarily, look back, double down, right? And then a harsher correction would be needed. That's more genetics. This is more developed, right?
So that's not good, but
It's a silver lining.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it could be far worse than it is, right? Now we've seen where she's willing to go with the puppy, right? Bit him on top of the head, put punctures in his head, and so is that the first incident?
with the puppy.
Well, in general, like
She had one with my friend's dog, but it wasn't. I mean, I think she bit the dog's butt, and it wasn't even.
And how old was she when that happened?
It was probably
Like
2
10 months ago.
Okay, so she was like 2 years old. Right, so we're talking about a juvenile adolescent dog versus a fully matured dog. So this is why the behavior is escalating, right? Where I would be concerned, like, I don't know, you found me online, right?
Yeah.
On TikTok or Instagram. So like, I don't know if you saw like Draco, the Black Cane Corso. He was 9 months old like that. He's never been beat, never been abused, never been neglected, but he's like that. That's genetics.
Yeah.
He was born that way. It took her 2 years for you to see the first incident, and then 3 years for it to escalate.
Yeah.
I think that's more lifestyle,
Yeah.
right? The genetic role and her behavior is just kind of how she responds to conflict, the insecurity, the submissive peeing, all those things. That can be easily addressed just by building some confidence. And that doesn't necessarily mean like coddle or baby her, right? It means put her in an uncomfortable situation and teach her how to get out of it in an appropriate way, which is what we just did here.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
So if we were to do because I saw you have like the training packages and then the boarding.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that she needs boarding for the behaviors, or what do you?
I mean, it really depends on what you guys are willing to commit to. I don't think it makes sense for us to do private lessons together given the distance. I have somebody I can refer you to that's 20, 30 minutes away. She has a location in Conroe and one in Shiloh. If you wanted to do private lessons, if we work together, I would either have you do my online program or I would have you do a board and train. And it's not that, does she need it or not? It took 3 years to get to this point. It's going to take a little bit of time to undo. Sometimes I often compare behavior modification to like recovering from addiction. It's hard to get out of your crack addiction when you live in the trap house with the dealers, right? So sometimes taking the dog out of the environment, resetting the dog, bringing you guys in during the process, helping you do lessons, understanding like how to work her. That's kind of where my program really shines, right? Because you get the owner education, you understand the psychology behind it, and then she gets actual working, right? It's a 24/7 immersive experience. It's not just 1 hour here, 1 hour there, right? Okay. But ultimately, let me see how this goes out here, and then we'll sit down and talk about like training plans and things like that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So notice the targeting from that dog. Yeah, little drama queen.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's a psycho though. Just keep walking. So the tail up. Ats. So this to me reads more of like socially curious, but there's a little hesitation. Little avoidance behavior. See her nose going?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you can put her up. All right, let's go back inside.
She does that avoidance behavior a lot to humans.
To humans?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
We took her to is a teacher anything except for what did it teach her? She'll do touch and she'll
That was when she was really young.
really young. We did her board and train with her.
Where at?
It was really close. I can find the name for you.
Okay. Was it like mostly positive reinforcement stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like teaching her how to walk on a leash, how to not run out the door. None of those things are
None of them worked.
None of them happen. If you say, I think they were trying to teach her the place command with the mat.
Mm-hmm.
She's terrified of the actual mat.
Do you have the mat?
We have my older dog's mat, but I really...
Whenever you tell her place, she just comes next to you.
Yeah,
Can I
she'll run away. It's like one of the two. It's right out here.
Yeah, I just want to see what you mean. You what? Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
It's like a post or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of dirty from the pollen, but when you usually say like, they told us to stay place and she would run there, and over time she's become like, at first it was her
Bailey,
eyes would
place.
get big, and then she likes you.
This is typically what happens is, dogs will perform for me because I speak dog. Good girl. Okay, free. So yeah, I think, do y'all have any questions about what happened out there or anything like that?
I will say, we were at the beach in Florida, and a doodle, I think it was a girl doodle, I don't really know, we didn't let them get too close, but she just immediately went to freaking out, and it was it's not a bark, it was like a snarl, really mean bark. And that has happened a couple of times.
Was the doodle being animated and weird and goofy?
No,
just
it's just walking.
So the biggest concerns that I have, the resource guarding is going to be the easiest thing to fix. Just manage it. Feed her in the crate, problem solved. You don't have to pay me thousands of dollars for that. The confidence building, the insecurity, how she tries to resolve conflict, that's the other issue. Because I do see a dog that lacks confidence in socializing with another dog. In dog language, weakness draws aggression, strength repels aggression. So if you've ever seen me evaluate a dog when they're snarling, trying to kill me, I go in and I go, and they get strong, but then when I come in and I stand up, they get weak, right? Yeah. So that's kind of what's happening here. When she sees a strong dog, Kalani was very interested. So she was more reserved. She was interested, but then when I corrected the impulse, she was more I don't know. I think I'll just sniff this brick over here, right? Let me just mind my business. And so, yeah, that's good because when I do this with other dogs, especially I bring out the dog with the right temperament, it elicits the behavior. It didn't elicit the behavior in this instance. Yeah. So, do I think she needs work? Yes. I think you guys need more of an understanding and an education in how to deal with this. But this all starts in the home. So I break training down into 3 segments: coexisting, behavior, obedience. Coexisting is how you live with the dog. So that's rules, boundaries, structures, relationship. Behavior is the resource guarding, the avoidance, reading body language, understanding what's motivating the behavior. And then obedience is the last thing. It's the least important of the 3, but it does have its functional space in training. That's positions of command: sit, place, come when I call you, walk politely on leash. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding that?
No, that makes sense.
Okay. So yeah, as far as training goes, do I think she needs a board and train? She would certainly benefit from it, right? It's not like it's going to hinder her or make her worse. Do I think at this point in time you need to sign up for a board and train? Unless you really wanted to, I don't think so. Like I said, your main concern being the resource guarding with the food is easily fixed by just crating her and feeding her in the crate. Yeah. Right? And then now the reactivity stuff though, the on-leash stuff, the things that happen at the beach, yeah, that needs addressing because this behavior and intensity here can certainly transfer over. No worries. Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
That behavior can certainly transfer.
Yeah.
And even little innocent thing. Hi, I'm Daniel.
I'm Tracy.
Nice to meet you.
Kevin,
Nice to meet you. Excuse me.
Oops, sorry. Even little innocent things like that, like the jumping and the greeting, that's impulse, right? And so she needs impulse control because in the resource guarding moment, she felt the impulse and she acted.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't have to practice impulse control here. Why does she have to practice impulse control there?
Yeah.
Right? So strengthening that skill, developing that muscle memory so that she has a reference point when she's in the conflict, that's going to set her up for success.
Yeah.
That way you're not just correcting,
Yeah.
right? Any questions, comments, concerns about that?
Do you recommend just getting her more out and being around different types of dogs? No, he's been doing that the entire time. Yeah. Walking her around other dogs. Obviously not letting them eat. But...
No, because they're uncontrolled variables. The dogs we're presenting, we know the dogs. We've trained the dogs. So we know what to expect from them. And then I just have to focus on her. But if you don't know your dog and you don't know that dog and you're just going, that's a recipe for disaster, right? Yeah. I think in a controlled environment, right, with somebody that understands dogs and can kind of point the things out to you, yeah, I think she can benefit from socializing in that aspect, right? Yeah. But socializing to me also means ignore everything and everyone and pay attention to only me.
Yeah.
When you can do that as a default, then I would move forward to introductions.
Okay. So first get her to focus on you.
Right. Just neutral, relaxed behaviors.
Every time she sees a dog on the TV, she goes,
Oh, yeah.
shit.
I didn't
You
even
think
remember.
that's something we should correct?
Yeah.
Do you think like this stuff is like a good correcting tool?
Does it work?
Yeah, she gets like.
Well, so there's two things when it comes to correcting behaviors. You can't do that, which is the aggression, the forward movement, whatever, but you also can't run away. You can't escape, you can't avoid. So if you were to do that, I would have her on leash, not on the prong collar, on a slip or a martingale, right? Because the prong collar is gonna pinch and correct her. And if she's in fight or flight, I don't want her associating that discomfort with what you're doing, right? So I would have her on leash, maybe chilling over here, turn the TV on, YouTube dogs barking. The second she does it, correct her, a little leash tug, knock it off, mark it, whatever if you want quiet to be the command, whatever it is, right? Interrupt the pattern of behavior, then give her the directive. If she tries to run away, basically, like, let's say this is the space right here. If I'm here when we start, I'm not gonna let her go forward from the space. I'm not gonna let her back up from the space.
Right.
Until she kind of does the neutral sit she did over there, good. Then I'll remove her from the situation.
She's also not supposed to resolve her conflict by crawling in your lap and stuff like that, because dogs will do that too. They'll paw you, they'll try to crawl into your lap.
Seek reassurance. Right,
Okay.
and so that in that point, if you didn't have to do this before we started this, you don't need to do it now, right? It's like that kid in class. Can I go to the bathroom when math comes up? Like, no, you just don't want to do your math work, right?
Yeah.
And so that's more or less how I would handle that. I do think you would benefit from professional help, just to give you the perspective and the insight that you've been missing. Because if you've lived with this dog your whole life and you're like, man, she wouldn't do anything to me, I don't understand why she's doing that. It's easy to get confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would say she's more on the mild side. Obviously, the result of the last thing was pretty moderate. It could be worse. But I don't think she's a bad dog. I just think she's a little anxious. She doesn't know how to self-soothe in an appropriate way. Like even now, you're petting her, but like you see she's stress panting, her ears are pinned back.
Yeah.
So like you get what you pet,
Yeah.
right? A lot of this stuff comes from unwarranted affection, just constantly acknowledging the dog. Then you create separation anxiety when you don't give them that, and they just don't know how to resolve it. Did you have any questions for us? I know you kind of walked in on the back half. No? Okay. Pretty girl. Hi, baby.
She's cool.
Yeah, she's a sweetie. You see how she's much more appropriate with me, right? Like, So that she's being pushy.
Is that pushy when she sticks her butt?
Yeah, she's literally like,
She does that to everyone.
Pet me.
This is new too.
yeah.
But it's always her, like she'll stick her butt just
She likes
to
her
every
butt
people.
scratched.
Right. But you see how she's putting her body weight against him? Like, that's kind of rude,
Yeah.
right? If I came over and sat on your lap and was like, hey, bud, how you doing? You're like, bro, get off me, right? So just because she's a cutie doesn't mean that she should get away with it.
Like after I yell at her, she'll totally
See?
go.
Like,
After I yell at her, she'll go try to cuddle someone else.
They're not allowed.
at least not while we're here.
No, we're starting to do this too.
Yeah, do you recommend like a certain, because you said you have online, does
Yeah.
that help?
I mean, it gives you the knowledge and information that you need, but you're doing all the work,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of the thing with private lessons too, is for the hour, yeah, you're getting the hands-on training and education, but for the other 23 hours in the day, you have to do all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like what I can offer you, I can give you a copy of my training guide. It includes the 30-day reset. That's something that I created. Essentially, it's a blueprint for my board and train. It's a week-by-week systematic approach to restructuring and resetting your dog's behaviors, resetting your relationship, and resetting the environment. We could do weekly calls so that I can, we can talk about how's it going, what you're doing. And I think that should be sufficient.
Okay.
It really just depends on if you guys want somebody here with you, right? Because it'll get pretty expensive having me drive out 2 hours every single time.
Yeah.
That's why I was gonna recommend the trainer that's only 20, 30 minutes away. I don't know her prices though, but we studied under the same mentor. She's a great friend and colleague of mine. I've known her for years, so you're in good hands. But even though, like, if you take anything out of this, like I said, crate her when she eats, problem solved. Don't allow her to escape or avoid situations, and then, interrupt the patterns of behaviors you dislike, starting with all this, right? Because this stems into the problem in a negative way, right? And if you give her the structure, rules, and boundaries, it'll bleed into it in a positive way. Because it'll teach her impulse control here that she can then utilize there.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The barking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's barrier frustration. He's behind a door. Is there a reason he's not out here just because he's big?
Oh, I didn't know if you guys just
Oh,
Could I
okay,
let
fair.
him out?
Yeah, you could let him out. It's fine.
Just a cat.
He's like
She also like chases.
What a
cats
gentleman or
sometimes.
gentle lady.
Gentleman.
Gentleman.
Yeah, they don't get along.
We
Who?
locked it because he was jumping.
These two?
But to be fair, like the cat will be sleeping in here. Bailey will walk by, not notice the cat, and just
The cat just swipes.
Cats are assholes.
Yeah.
look at Bailey.
So that's stalking behavior. So that probably comes from.
It's the food. I didn't move it. No.
Oh.
There you see.
That's what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
What'd she do just
The food bowl was just right here, and she was like this, like one paw out, one paw back.
Protecting the food.
Yeah.
She's gone after him
I
once
don't even get why she's so
when,
weird about food. Like,
And the fact that, like, I would understand the cooked turkey stuff that you guys do, that's high value, right? High reward. Kibble, not typical. So I think it's just because she lacks confidence and she's insecure. No, it's fine. So because she lacks confidence and she's insecure everywhere else,
I always thought you had.
the food bowl gives her confidence.
Yeah.
Because that she can control, that she understands. Does that make sense? Any other questions or concerns for me?
I can't really think of anything.
That's fine. Think about it, talk about it, get back to me, and then we'll go forward with either referring you or signing you up for the online stuff.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming. I
No
really
problem. It was a pleasure to
appreciate
meet you.
it.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Nice to meet you.
Bye.